Hey, Cindy, do you have one of these ready for signature
When we went to South Dakota, it was,
for me?
we had snow.
Okay.
Says you have my copy. If she needs it.
Well, just sometimes,
No, we
oh,
got,
this one.
we got a little bit.
Back page does.
Yeah, some of them, they've got page numbers and stuff on them, or they're part of the package.
Yeah, yeah,
So she's got, still got to put the ordinance on. It's got to be done today.
yes.
You ready? Wendy?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. I will call the regular meeting for Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 to order. The time is 6:33. Everybody please rise for a moment's silence, followed by pledge of allegiance. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, first time is Susan's comments. Do we have anything?
We don't have anybody
I'd
registered.
like to, if we don't have any comments, I'd like to make a citizen's comment to see if you could update us on the status of the manufactured housing or whatever, so the citizens can have some information.
I do have an update for you under the city manager's report,
Okay.
but I want to make sure that we don't deliberate on it since it's not listed on the agenda, but I will
Right.
update you as a part of the city manager's report.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item, discussion items, item A, fiscal year 2023 employee benefits. Hub International, Rodney Dryden.
Mayor, council, thank you for having me here tonight. Worked with staff on the renewal, and our initial number from United Healthcare came out at about a 7% increase. We're very excited to get that to a no increase for the city. So for the first time in a while, your employees will have some continuity in their benefits without changes. There are no cost increases to any of your benefits, healthcare, dental, life, disability, anything. So very consistent program this year, which I think will be welcomed by your staff. They've had quite a bit of change over the last few years in benefits. So we'll be staying the course on benefits. So that is good. We will be coming back out to go over the benefits with your folks and make sure they understand the programs that they have. City manager asked me to look at your historical, go back a few years and look at it. Over the last 4 years' time, we're actually averaging a -3 on our cost over that period. So if you pay much attention to the cost of healthcare, the fact that the city's kept its costs flat or slightly below the rates of 4 years ago on average is a very nice trend for the city. When you look at trends in healthcare, you ask Blue Cross, United Healthcare, Aetna, Cigna, what their trends are, and they're running at about 9.5% healthcare inflation. So City of Everman is outrunning that right now. And we're very pleased to deliver that news. Looking forward to meeting with your staff and talking about the benefits for a change without discussing an increase to them. So that's really nice. And there's not a lot of disruption in benefits. Certainly be happy to entertain any questions. And I have to give hats off to Craig for really making a concerted effort last year to really change the direction that all of this was going on your benefit piece. And I think we're starting to see the dividend from that investment in time and effort by your staff in making those choices. And I think even the payroll program that we implemented, a little rocky at the start, but I think we're where we need to be now. I think it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I think it's been a cost-effective measure for the city. So love to answer any questions that you might have. But this year was one of those years we were fortunate to see 0 as far as change.
Thank you for your hard work. That's wonderful.
It's my pleasure.
Hopefully we can stay the course next year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Do you have any questions?
No, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right,
You
thank
as
you, Ryan.
well.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you, Ryan.
home.
Appreciate
That's
it.
Okay, next item, item B, city council governance policy update.
So as we were working through the budget, one of the things that came up as a part of that was the training policy as it relates to city council members. So I have reworded that and attached that with the agenda. After rewording that, attaching that to the agenda and then sending it out to you, I can't turn my brain off sometimes. So over the weekend, I took it upon myself to take the time to reevaluate the entire governance policy and see if there were any other updates. If we were going to update a portion of it, why not take a look at the entire thing? What I've put before you is just a draft for your consideration. I'm not planning to go through this tonight by any means, but I did want you to have an understanding that it is just a draft. When I was rewriting this, I wanted to take into consideration the many things that we've talked about over the last couple of years about some potential changes that council would like to see as far as governance and policy related to your operations. And then also, as you read through this, you're going to find that there's a lot more thorough definitions and explanation of processes, because this will also be a good training document for boards and commission and committee members and any new council members that come in. If there's any confusion, if they don't understand what a motion to appeal is, or if they're not sure about the parliamentary procedures or how they go about doing something, this document pretty thoroughly explains all of that. And there's even a table at the back of the document that kind of dictates what motions require supermajorities, what motions require simple majorities, what requires seconds, what don't require seconds, just to kind of break that down. It also makes it a good desk reference for the city secretary and I when those uncommon situations arise where somebody wants to appeal something or limit debate, and we're not sure the exact parliamentary procedure with that. It makes a good desk reference for us to go back to and make sure we're following the rules appropriately. Everything in here, I say everything. Most things in here are completely decided upon you as council. Some of the things in here are obviously dictated by state law, Open Meetings Act, and those sorts of things. But as far as the policies on how you go about performing trainings and how you want the agenda set up and how council members go about submitting agenda items, all those things are pretty much open to deliberation amongst yourselves to decide how you wish to regulate that and move forward. So again, I don't want to get into specific details on it tonight, but it will come back probably the next regular meeting to discuss this thoroughly and take any recommended changes that you would like to see, and then probably bring back a final document to you sometime in September for your consideration and adoption.
Homework.
I have a question regarding the TML, the Region 8 dinners.
Yes, ma'am.
Because previously, we were allowed to go to those and being reimbursed for the cost, which was like $30, $40, and mileage if it was out the way. And I see that it's going to be added to the council what each members allotted. So my question is, I recently attended 3 of the Regional 8 dinners. Will I be reimbursed for those?
If the mayor approves those, then yes, absolutely. In accordance with the policy, the way it's currently written, then yes.
Okay, because previously it was that particular one did not have to be approved, but you're saying now it is.
Well,
All reimbursements have to be approved. There has to be some sort of, and that's a part of the financial policy that we have as a city. So they all have to be approved. Even the mayor's, if he submits a reimbursement request, I or Susan have to sign off on his reimbursement request. So there has to be some sort of approval process with any sort of reimbursement. The mayor acts as the approver for the council members, and then we act as the approver for the mayor. Susan acts as my approver, I act as hers. So there's always a 2-step involvement there. As far
Because
as
even far as the dinners weren't normally approved. It was just whether or not you wanted to attend that. The annual dinner,
right.
right?
Again, I don't think there's any issue with reimbursing for the cost of the TML Region 8 dinners. What's concerning is the way that this was previously worded. it says the city will pay for council members and one guest to attend functions related to city business. That's not very
So-
restrictive and that's pretty open.
Very vague.
So with it being so vague, it provides an example of TML Region 8 dinners. But as a council member, if I wanted to go to a dinner to deal with development 32 times a year, well, now the city's on the hook for those expenses.
Oh, no, I'm aware of that.
So that's why
I'm
we
aware
added
of
the quote in here up to the dollar amount allocated for each council member, and then you guys decide what that amount is during budget. Completely up to you. But as far as the TML Region 8 dinners and the way the policy is currently written, yes, they are covered for reimbursement.
Okay.
Okay, so next item. Item C, fiscal year 2023 budget and proposed tax rate.
Basically, we were just gonna open it up for discussion if there's any last minute items
Thank
you
you.
guys want to discuss before the public hearing next week. I have printed, thank you, the main section of the budget book. You'll have bound copies next week with the final budget. But any changes that we discussed in the last meeting have been made and are reflected here.
Can you make the font a little
I
larger?
had one question I wanted to ask
Yes.
regarding the paying someone or some company to mow the lawn, the grass
Mhm.
for the city. Would it not be cheaper to hire an employee versus paying $40,000 to a company?
So the $40,000, the way to look at it is when we pay $40,000 to a company, we're getting 10 employees out here to take care of the lawn maintenance and things throughout the year. Whereas one full-time employee costs the city roughly at the lowest amount, probably $50,000 when you
Plus.
incorporate
Because of
benefits and
benefits.
retirement and
Yeah.
everything. So it's actually a cost savings to contract out rather than to hire additional staff to fill that spot.
Okay, so what will those individuals be doing if they don't cut the grass?
Oh, the many other park projects that never get addressed that need to be addressed. We have a lot of right-of-way issues that need to be addressed, street issues, street signs that are constantly needing
Yes.
repair, specialty care at our parks, the cleaning up of our parks.
Anything public works related.
Yes.
Right, but I just think $40,000 is a waste of our taxpayer dollars for.
Well, we have a
for
need,
that.
if we don't look at finding some alternative way to take care of the lawn maintenance, we have a need for additional staff in public works. So this was a cheaper alternative to solve that. Rather than hiring one additional staff or two additional staff, we can contract out the lawn maintenance. And we've essentially, by doing that, freed up the two staff members that do take care of the mowing all summer long, every day, to do the other tasks that are needed. So we're freeing up time for them to focus on the other things that are needed while saving money and not hire additional staff.
Well, haven't we previously hired part-time people like for the summer or as needed?
Yes, and we actually have some salary savings right now.
We've had a hard time. We've had temporary positions before. Those are getting harder and harder to fill. People don't want to work temporary jobs.
Yep.
And typically the ones that do are individuals that have other obligations and probably don't want to do physical labor outside during the summer. So we've had a hard time filling that position the last couple of years in the first place. So the last time it came vacant, we have just left it vacant in hopes of trying to find some alternative way of resolving the issues that we're facing.
Well, that and then the savings of equipment, not having to buy the expensive lawnmowers.
Right.
But we still
The
have to have
maintenance.
equipment for the parks and everything.
But our stuff will last longer if we're not running it 7 days,
Yes.
5 days a week. So it,
It
Well,
would just-
it's a
the-
savings for
Like
the
the, like the
city.
lawn mowers, we're not getting rid of any of the equipment. That will still be used at the well sites because we have to maintain that ourselves. It's just the majority of the open park areas.
Parks, right of ways.
the right of ways.
Yeah, right now we have 2 full-time employees in parks and they spend all their time mowing and weeding the parks. So there's no opportunity for them to focus on any landscaping improvements, the manicured landscaping, the weeds, the memorial park issues, the cleaning, the
Changing out,
trash.
changing out faded stop signs, other things that need to be done.
Anybody have any other questions or comments about the budget?
Have we hired the other police officer who's going to do the code enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. That's Officer Scott Dess.
Okay, and so he's already started?
Yes, as code
Okay.
enforcement, yes.
Been doing it for a
And believe
while.
me, my phone is
Well,
telling
I
me
mean,
he
I
is
still
working.
see
because
Christmas
I am
tree lights
receiving
and
the,
stuff up on
the calls.
Stuff, so.
So if there's no further questions, then next week we will have the public hearing. Good night.
My only comment about it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the font is a little small for some of us.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks good other than that. Thank you.
Okay, so next item D, Columbine well site, Councilmember Johnny Allen.
Yes, I've had several questions regarding the Columbine well site. What exactly are they doing?
What?
And reason why I asked that is because we've seen all tanker trucks and stuff come over there a couple of times a day. And so we were just trying, the residents were trying to see if they were
So after they drill for a well, they have to pack that well. And that's what, I think that's the process that Gilbert was trying to explain when he was here. So they bring in certain oils and things to line that hole with, that they've drilled down several thousand feet with. And those tankers bring in that material to line that with. So I know that the hole is drilled, it's connected, and they've been doing testing, and it may even as of today be up and running. I would have to confirm with him the status of it, but it's near completion at this point.
okay, so do you know about how much longer it's going to be?
I can check with him, but I think it's completed.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe it's done, and
Okay.
they should be cleaning up if not already cleaned up. 30 days, and that was what, 2 weeks ago? So within the next couple of weeks, it should be completely cleared out. And no issues over there at all.
Okay, great.
Next item E, tennis pickleball court, Councilman Johnny Allen.
I'm bringing that back because I think that Everman should have a tennis pickleball court. And I know that there's a possibility of a business putting it in, but I think if Everman has their own, it's free, there's no cost. And I think it'll be beneficial to the residents. I guess all we would need is possibly a location, and I could look into it and get more information if the city would approve it.
They already opened for business.
Sounds like something for EDC to look at.
Craig, can I get Richard to come up?
That's up to you, Mayor. It's your meeting.
Richard, you want to come up and talk about what you're doing with pickleball?
Sorry, I didn't have time to change.
You're fine.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah.
Pickle tacos.
So we have here in Tacos Oasis, we've had a project pretty much in the works here for like the last year, right? Because we discovered pickleball like yourself a couple of years ago, and we really liked it, right? It was something where my 9-year-old daughter and my 60-year-old dad can play together and be equally, nobody's letting anybody win. They're playing and they're going at it. So we liked it. And then I started looking into it for the business, right? We built the pickleball court. We opened it up about, I'm gonna say 2 months ago, and it's been going really well with just one court, right? And that's covered in the summer heat, right? And people were booking it. And they're having like a Saturday, we have 30 people coming just for one court, right? And they eat and all of that. And so after seeing that, right away after the first week, I've got in contact with developers, right, that I've known it in the past we've talked pretty much before COVID into making a center, a strip mall, but more of a professional development on Enon and Forest Hill, on that corner. But as soon as COVID started, they backed off, right? Because they said, we don't want to do anything with leasing and all that. So now I'm talking with them about pickleball, right? There are various businesses that Mike from EDC, we've talked, and they're doing really well, right? In DFW, from like January 1st, there were no businesses that were focused on that. Now, right now, there's 3 businesses, each with at least a dozen pickleball courts, right? And I've tried to book on the weekend. They're booked, right? It's really hard. So they're really popular. And each of these businesses charge $40 an hour, right, for 1 court. So that's not cheap, but people are booking it up. Now, obviously, like you said, the benefit of having the city court is that it's not as expensive, right? Now, I've looked into various other cities that do have pickleball courts. One that I go to once a month or so is the Arlington Tennis Center.
Yes.
Oh, you've been?
Yes.
Yeah, so see there, they charge, what is it? Like it's 4 of us, so it's $350 a person, so it ends up being $14 an hour, right? But the 1 court we have now, we're doing $28 an hour, which is cheaper than the $40 an hour, right? Now, with this new development that we have, it is going to be a lot bigger. It's going to be in pretty much, we want to build a really nice facility with at least a dozen courts. Now, and we're looking into the possibility of building them in an air-conditioned facility, which would be pricey, but our goal here is to attract, because this sport is young, right? It's starting out. And we've seen some of the facilities where they're hosting tournaments, like professionally televised tournaments, right? And they're not that amazing, right? We can do better, right? And we have the space, right? And with their support, we could do something like that here in Everman and potentially have, professionally televised sports events. Pickleball, not a lot of people have heard about it, but it's growing. It's the fastest growing sport in the last like 5-6 years, something like that. But now, for the time being, for this 1 court now and for our future ones, we do want to. I've spoken with the developers and our staff now, and we do want to have a. We've been wanting to have a resident of Everman discount, right? We currently have one, which is half price off the paddle rental and paddle and ball rental. Now, our booking software is online, right? So it's a little bit complicated to get a discount for the resident of Everman on the online booking software, because there's no way for us right now with this 1 court, because I just use the software off the shelf, right? And I programmed it myself. So there's no way for us to right now be able to offer discounts in order for us to verify, right? Like, okay, where do you live? Do you live in Everman? Your state ID says you live in Everman. Now with these bigger courts, we won't be able to, right? We're going to get the software built, custom built, and they'll be able to easily program some sort of way for the customer when they're reserving to get that discount.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, you're looking at pickleball. Nice. No. But now what we can do, it came to me, I was talking with a couple of people. We could put a coupon code, right? Because our software right now does accept coupon codes. We could put a coupon code in the water bill, right? So that would be a way for us to just keep it to the residents of Everman for the time being until we can get the larger facility done. And then in that case, anytime they go book, they'll just be able to, you're a resident of Everman, yes, okay, click here, and then you'll get a discount. Now, as to far as how much, we were ready to match, right? For example, with the Arlington Tennis Area, pretty much they're half price of what we are right now. They're exactly $14. So we can match that, right? And I'm not opposed to the city building a court, right? At all. Now, but it's not like a basketball court that you build and it like you just leave it and it's nice. Right? This is something that requires obviously it's the initial construction, but it's ongoing. And you need to have somebody there from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Somebody to check in people and all of that. So unless I'm sure there's other ways to do it where you don't have to, but everywhere that I've been, you always check in and you always pay with somebody. And like I said, I'm not going to propose. It's not like we're going to be in competition or anything. My goal is for people, far from here to say, oh, I'm going to Everman this weekend to play pickleball wherever it may be. Right. Do you have any questions? or anything at all.
The spot from the donut shop to Souter, is that what you're looking at?
Well, yes, that's one piece of land that we have. But we have more land in the back because that land, we're looking into doing a professional development,
Oh,
like
okay.
medical. We're in talks with getting an urgent center there, right? Or something similar, something medical, something more, professional. 'Cause we don't want to do, because I mean, across the street, we already have a, strip mall with your typical retail, right? Like your liquor store and all of that. But we want to get something a little bit different because, I mean, we have a lot of rooftops coming around Everman, and that's going to be needed. Right now, behind that, that's where we want to. That's where all of that's going to be, because we have roughly total 15 acres. So the front 4, we want to leave for some nicer development, and then the back, we're going to have fun with. Yeah. Any other questions?
So you're talking about 12 courts.
Yeah. So it's gonna be big. Yeah, we need to do it. We need to have enough to host these large tournaments. And they're gonna be, because there's a court Landon, that you've been to, and they're nice, but they're not necessarily regulation size. So we won't have the Professional Pickleball Association come and go to them, but I want to make it so that we can, and it's not a tough qualification process to be able to host them. You just get enough people and, they'll make it happen. Any more questions? Johnny, anything?
No, I mean, it was gonna be free. It's not like we were renting it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I would like to make it free to the residents, but, we have staff we need to pay, and obviously the cost of construction. But yeah, and I'm very well versed in a little bit too much in the whole pickleball. So if y'all ever need any help, you can let me know.
So when do you think you're going to be looking at this going?
So we submitted for permits, right, to the city a couple of months ago for just 3 additional courts, right? But we're gonna scratch that, and we're going bigger, right? Either go big or go home, right? So now, and I've sent them the video, a couple of clips from the workshop y'all had this a couple of Saturdays ago, and to the developers, right? Because at the end of the day, I answer to them. Sure, I'm the one in charge and I'm the guy on the ground. That's the deal. But they're the ones that are putting in their money, and we eventually want to see a return. And they're really excited with the way the city's going, especially last Tuesday's session where we know the property taxes are coming down, because that directly affects us, right?
Sure.
But more importantly, we want to bring in the sales tax, right? Because this will draw not only from our residents, but it will bring people from all over, right? And they'll come and they'll spend here. Right.
Hopefully eat tacos.
Of course. Yes, sir. All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right,
think we're
perfect.
good,
Well,
Rick.
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, if nothing else on that, and
So, or is that scratched? Is that what you're saying?
Is what
well,
scratch?
we're not voting on anything.
I know,
but
but so,
My
but,
recommendation is to not do it because we have a business that's fixing to put in 12.
but it's not free to the residents. I mean, it's a tennis court that you can go to any time of day
Well,
is the purpose of
You
it.
got to look at the
Just
fact
like-
too, we're on a tight budget.
Okay,
we're
you're
trying-
not, Everman is not, if I'm looking for the funding, Everman is only providing a lot. That's all.
No, we'd have to provide somebody to keep it up. Like you said, you gotta have somebody there. That's an employee, at least 1, 2,
No.
because if it's open from
No,
8 to
that's
10.
if, well, see, this is like a regular tennis court.
Okay,
this
so
is
people
not
bring
weight.
their own paddles and balls and
Exactly,
stuff.
yes.
Okay, I still think we need to wait on it. That's just my personal opinion. I would like to see the success going on there, and if it looks like something that we could pull into Everman and make it a citizen thing, excellent. This doesn't sound like he's going to charge $40 an hour or anything, so everything's got a charge except for the basketball court, et cetera. I understand, Johnny, I got you. But I just don't think we have the kind of money that we're gonna have to put into it. It's more than having somebody come out and pay for it to build it. Because then we're gonna be maintaining it, and it's not just gonna sit out there. We're gonna wind up maintaining it, which is a cost to the city. So let's see what his does first. That's just my opinion.
Well, we can't right now with this new budget anyway.
No, it's done. No more changes.
Okay, so next item, consideration possible action, item A, approve ordinance number 782, an ordinance of the city of Everman, Texas, calling and ordering pursuant to chapter 26 of the Texas Local Government Code and chapter 201 of the Texas Election Code, a special election to be held on November 8, 2022, to fill a vacancy created by the resignation of Councilmember Place Two, approving a joint election agreement with Tarrant County, designating a polling place, providing for election procedures and notice, providing severability cause, and providing an effective date. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 782 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Mayor, just so you're aware on this, after the adoption of this ordinance, we will make available any applications for anybody who wishes to apply. Those applications will be available through the city secretary's office. Those applications will be available through the city secretary's
Okay.
office. And applicants will have until August 22nd. Is that correct?
Okay.
To file to run for office.
8/22/22.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other discussion? Just poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Executive session, we have nothing. Next item, city manager's report.
Just a couple things. I'll be out of town Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. I will have my cell phone on me, so if you need something, I'll have my laptop with me as well. If you need to get in touch with me, I'll certainly be available. I just will not be in the city. Also, slight update on Fort Worth. I have not received any communication from anybody associated with the development on the manufactured housing. I will be drafting a letter. The next hearing on the P and Z schedule is August the 10th. And I'll be drafting a letter to submit to them. I will not be able to attend that meeting in person. I will see if maybe another staff member has the ability to go in my place and voice opposition on behalf of the council if that's okay with y'all. And then even if it's denied, it still goes before the city council. I will make arrangements to be at that city council meeting regardless of whatever the outcome is from P and Z, unless it's, of course, withdrawn. But have not received any other updates there. Did receive an update today regarding what we knew was a planned development near Forest Hill Drive and Shelby Road. And I am told that that is actually a 381 single family housing development that's going to be going in there. So just so everybody knows, it's the old Pecan Grove.
Is that right before the school?
No, ma'am, it's South Forest Hill Drive, right at Shelby Road, the vacant property there.
Towards the post office.
Yeah, right across the street from the post office behind that little commercial building.
Northeast
right there.
corner.
I'm sorry?
Northeast corner.
Yes, yes.
Used to be a
So that's going to be a
little-
381 single family planned development subdivision that's going in there. Other than that, just a reminder about next week's meeting. We'll need a quorum.
Is that at 5:30 or 6:30?
6:30, right?
6:30.
What?
Yeah, 6:30.
6:30, yeah.
That's
I
just a
know.
public hearing, right?
Yeah,
Public hearing
but it
and,
was posted at 6:30.
yeah, and adoption of the budget
Okay.
And adoption of the budget
and the tax. rate,
next
yes.
Tuesday.
All.
All of it. Next Tuesday.
Gotcha.
6:30.
And it what?
We'll have the public hearing on the tax rate and then we'll have the adoption of both.
Okay, so Richard, 381 more houses. You might want to consider 20 courts.
And a bigger taco place.
Oh.
Okay, next time is mayor's report. I don't have anything, so it is 7:07 and we are adjourned.
Wow. That's